Hello and Merry Almost Christmas. Today I am going to read you a story that most of you will know either by the story itself or by watching one of its many incarnations in movies. We are going to read How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss, read to you with permission by Random House. Look at his little red eyes. Does he look nice? Does he look mean? Does he look happy? Sad? So if you don't know the story, let's find out what happens. Oh, look at this little guy inside the wreath. You ever looked inside a wreath like that? Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Who's, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming. I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow he knew. What did he know? All the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys, and then, oh, the noise, Eek! That's one thing he hated, the noise. Ah! Look at all that. Look at all of that racket. Then the Who's, young and old, would sit down to a feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast. And they would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beef, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. But look how happy they all are. And look at all of them together. Oh, it's so sweet. And then they do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Who's would start singing. They'd sing, and they'd sing, and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Can you stop Christmas from coming? Then he got an idea. An awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do. The Grinch laughed in his throat. And he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and clucked, what a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around. But since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the Grinch? No. The Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread, and he tied a big horn on top of his head. Where's your head? Where's your head? Good job! Would you want somebody to tie a big horn on top of your head to make you into a reindeer? I think not. Then he loaded some bags and some empty old sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. And then the Grinch said, get up! And the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Who's lay a snooze in their town. All their windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air. All the Who's were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square, this is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. What's he gonna do? Look at poor Max. Does Max look happy to be doing this? I don't think my dog would be happy if I made her dress up like a reindeer and go, steal Christmas. Then he slid down the chimney a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once, for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who's stockings all hung in a row. These stockings, he grinned, are the first things to go. Look at all the little Who's sleeping in their bed. And there's the mean little Grinch. Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn and plums, and he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch, very nimbly, stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimney. He took them all up the chimney. Oh my goodness, he even took all their decorations. Oh, I would be so sad. Oh no. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast! He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who Hash! Oh, he took all their food! Oh, man! Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. And now, grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. Oh, no. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove. Then he heard a small sound like the ooh of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small who, little Cindy Lou Who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, "Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" Why is he taking it? What do you think the Grinch will tell her? But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot," the fake Santa Claus lied. "There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side, so I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here." And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Oh my! Cindy Lou Who didn't change his mind. He even takes the fireplace log. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. It was 1:15. All the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze. When he packed up his sled, packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Pooh, pooh to the Who's. He was Grinchishly humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry boo-hoo. Would you be upset if you woke up and Christmas was gone? All the trees, all the presents, all the decorations, all the food. Oh, that's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put a hand to his ear, and he did hear a sound. rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so. But it was merry. Very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Whoa. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages. It came without boxes or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back the toys, and he brought the food for the feast. And he himself carved the roast beast. Look at him. Now what's he look like? Does he look mad? Does he look happy? Yeah, he looks pretty happy. So, if you stop into the library and want to come down to use services, you can make the Grinch's heart grow 3 sizes with a craft. We have a craft that you can pick up and take home. And we have the small Grinch heart. And then you can glue another heart to it. So what you do is you take it home and you just put a little glue on there. And then stick it there. So it looks like that. And then you get to do it again. Put some glue on the back, just like that. And then you stick it to the next one. So it's grown how many times? There's the original. So then you have 1, 2. We need one more, don't we? We have a third one. So we're going to glue one more time. Just got my desk with glue. Oh, well, it cleans. So we've got that. And there's already some holes punched. So now we have our Grinch heart. And inside the bag, which I set somewhere, right here, is a string. So you can thread that string right in there. And then you can tie it off. And you've got your Grinch heart to take home and hang up. So there you go. You can take home your very own Grinch heart if you come in to Youth Services and pick it up. You can check out some of our many Christmas books that we have out there, or you can check out any of our other books, obviously. And we also have some movies and books on tape, so feel free to come in and check out, or you can give us a call and we will pull some books and movies or whatever else you would like for us to pull, and you can come by and we will deliver them to your vehicle so you do not have to come in. Thank you, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend.